1. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. In the stillness of the desert night, beneath a sky jeweled with countless stars, there once lived a woman whose love for Allah burned brighter than any flame on earth. Her name was Rabi'a al-Basri, a name that would echo through centuries, a name synonymous with divine love, sincerity, and the kind of faith that transcends reward and fear. She was not a queen, nor a scholar, nor born into wealth. She was born a slave, unseen by the world, but deeply loved by the Creator of worlds. This is her story, the story of the woman who loved Allah beyond paradise. It was the city of Basra, in the heart of Iraq around the 8th century, a city alive with merchants, scholars, and mystics, but also drowning in greed and indulgence. In a small, dimly lit home on the outskirts of Basra, a poor man and his wife welcomed their 4th daughter into the world. They named her Rabi'a, which means the 4th. That night, her mother had nothing to feed the newborn. The oil in their lamp had run out, and the house was shrouded in darkness. Her father wept and said, "O Allah, I am too poor to even light a lamp for my child." He fell asleep crying, and in his dream he saw the Prophet Muhammad, who said, "Do not be sad. This daughter of yours is beloved to Allah. Her intercession will be accepted for 70,000 of my ummah." When he awoke, his heart was filled with light. That same morning, a stranger knocked at his door, giving him 1,000 dinars as charity, saying, "This is for your newborn child." It was as if Allah himself had smiled upon that poor family. But life, as always, tests the chosen ones. Years passed. Her father died. Poverty deepened. One night, as Rabi'a walked alone through the dusty streets of Basra, she was captured by thieves and sold in the slave market. She was bought by a harsh master who forced her to work endlessly, cooking, cleaning, carrying water, but she never complained. Her heart remained anchored to Allah. Every night when the city slept, Rabi'a would rise silently and pray. Her tears would wet the ground beneath her, and her whispered du'as would rise like incense to the heavens. Her master once woke up in the middle of the night and saw a light shining from her small room. Inside, Rabi'a stood in prayer, her face glowing, her eyes drenched with tears. He heard her say, "O my Lord, if I worship you for fear of hell, burn me in hell. And if I worship you for hope of paradise, exclude me from it. But if I worship you for your sake alone, then hide not your eternal beauty from me." The man froze, overwhelmed by awe. He fell to his knees and freed her the next morning, saying, "You are free, Rabi'a. You belong only to Allah." Rabi'a left Basra for the desert, alone, barefoot, carrying only a water skin and a heart full of love for Allah. She had no worldly home, but her soul was a garden filled with remembrance. People would later ask her, "Why do you live alone in the desert?" She would reply softly, "My heart is too occupied with Allah to be occupied by His creation." She fasted by day, prayed by night, and spent every moment speaking to her Lord. She saw beauty in pain, freedom in servitude, and joy in tears. One night she lifted a lamp and walked through the desert, holding a torch in one hand and a bucket of water in the other. When people asked her what she was doing, she said, "With this fire I will burn paradise, and with this water I will extinguish hell, so that none may worship Allah for fear or reward, but only for love." News of Rabi'a's piety spread across Basra. Among those who heard of her was the great scholar and ascetic Hassan al-Basri, R.A. One day he visited her, curious about this woman whose devotion was said to surpass even that of men. He found her sitting in prayer, her face radiant with peace. He said to her, "O Rabi'a, how have you reached such a station with Allah?" She smiled and replied, "By losing everything except him." He said, "Do you hate Shaitan?" She answered, "No." My love for Allah leaves no room in my heart to hate anyone. Hassan al-Basri was silent. Tears filled his eyes. He had met many worshippers, but never one who loved Allah with such purity. Rabi'a's love for Allah was not like others. Where most people prayed for paradise or protection from hell, she prayed for Allah Himself. Once, when asked why she wept so much, she replied, "I am not weeping out of fear. I am weeping because I have been separated from my beloved." Her nights were spent in worship, her lips constantly whispering, "My Lord, my heart is your dwelling. Do not let anything enter it but you." Her devotion was so deep that once, while walking, she saw the Kaaba approaching her, a miracle witnessed by others. She stopped and said, "O Kaaba, what do I seek from you? The one I love is the Lord of the Kaaba." Rabia fell ill in her old age. Even then she refused help, saying, "The physician who gave me this pain knows best when to remove it." Her friends would weep seeing her suffer, but she would smile and whisper, "When the beloved is near, pain becomes sweet." A student once asked, "Rabia, do you love Allah?" She replied, "Yes, but not for His gifts. For when you love the giver, the gifts mean nothing." As her final moments drew near, she lay weak but peaceful. Her last words were a whisper between her and her Lord, "O Allah, my eyes long to see you. Take my soul now, for my heart can no longer bear separation." It is said that as she breathed her last, a fragrance filled the air, and those nearby heard a voice saying, "O soul at peace, return to your Lord, pleased and pleasing." Rabi'a al-Basri, R.A., taught the world that true love for Allah is not built on fear or desire, but on pure sincerity and devotion. In her heart, there was no space for anything but Allah. She turned her poverty into wealth, her loneliness into peace, and her tears into light. Her story reminds us that the highest worship is not when we pray for reward, but when we say from the depths of our hearts, "O Allah, I worship you because you are worthy of worship." The Prophet said, "Allah does not look at your appearance or your wealth, but He looks at your hearts and your deeds." If you found this story inspiring, subscribe for more journeys into the lives of Allah's messengers. May Allah guide us all to the truth.